Hey guys, welcome to Living It Up Raw. Welcome to Spain. Feels so good to be here after around 4 years since the last time I was here to test ride a motorcycle. And what a motorcycle to come here for. The brand new Street Triple RS. In a way, this motorcycle has been in the works for almost 4 years, ever since Triumph entered the Moto2 Championships. And over these 4 years, they've gone on to break 72 lap and race records, register a top speed of almost 300 kilometers an hour on that engine. And this is what the Street Triple RS benefits from all their learnings, from all the development. So what you're looking at is the most powerful Street Triple RS ever. It now pumps out 130 PS, 80 Newton meters of torque. That's 7 PS more than the previous Street Triple. How have they done that? With a massive overhaul which has gone on inside the engine. You have completely modified combustion chambers, you have new pistons, you have new con rods, you have high lift cams, you have different intake, different exhaust, a free flowing exhaust, all to bump up the compression ratio, which has gone up from I think 12.65:1 to 13.25:1. That's how they have unlocked the 7 PS of power. And of course, to harness that, even the electronic suite has been updated. So for the first time ever, this one now gets lean sensitive traction control, lean sensitive ABS, you get a quick shifter and an auto blipper as standard. You get 5 different riding modes, including a dedicated track mode. And on the mechanical side of things, you have the Brembo Stylema calipers, so Stupendous stopping power. You have Super Corsa V3 tires, really sticky rubber. You continue to have Showa big piston, fully adjustable forks at the front, and Öhlins shock at the back. On the ergonomics front, now the handlebar is 12 mm wider to make it easier to get the bike to turn. And it will turn more easily because even the rake is now a whole lot steeper and the seat height has gone up as well. That's the motorcycle, and we get to test it here at Jerez Motogp racetrack. I have no words to describe how excited I am. This was easily on my bucket list to, at least at one point of time in my life, get to ride here, and it's happening thanks to Triumph. So really excited. So let's see how she goes on the track. I was quite apprehensive, to be honest, coming into Jerez, because it's been a long time since I rode a motorcycle in anger at a racetrack. It's been almost a year and a half, but this was absolutely incredible. And full credit goes to the bike, because when you come to a track like this, a MotoGP level track, it's so fast. You need a motorcycle which makes things easier for you, and I think that is the highlight of the new Street Triple RS. It is easier than ever to ride. It really flatters you as a rider. I can easily say that this is the most I've ever pushed a media bike. It still left me coming back for more. That's the kind of potential that the bike has, and that's the capability it unlocks in you as a rider. The braking was the Achilles heel of the last Street Triple RS. I found the ABS to be quite intrusive, but now on this bike, that's history, because the braking is absolutely phenomenal. The Stylema calipers, you have the Super Corsa tires, and then in the track mode, you don't have cornering ABS, but then even when I was trail braking in the corner, going as fast as I could dare, not once did I feel the ABS intervene, which is incredible. I felt the auto blipper on the previous model was not as smooth. It required a lot of effort. Again, on this one, it's buttery smooth. You can really go down the gears hard. It keeps everything in check. The way the auto blipper works in conjunction with the slipper clutch is brilliant. You know, it makes corner entry a drama-free affair. also like the changes they made to the geometry. Very agile, very quick on its feet with the more aggressive rake. At the same time, I also not once felt that despite the shorter wheelbase, the bike was unstable. Even with the extra power, even with the aggressive gear ratios, it feels planted. It feels really nice and compact between your legs, and also changing direction, going from left to right, is a very easy affair even for a tall rider like me. Any downsides? I still feel it's the TFT dash. We tried using the displays, the different displays which are available, but I feel the TFT dash is still a tad too busy. The font is a little too small, and I don't like how the tachometer, you know, it revs on both sides, which made it very difficult to gauge the rev limit. But that's the RS from the track. Genuinely think now it's the benchmark when it comes to middleweight nakeds. It has the performance, it has the riding dynamics, it has the stopping power, it has the electronics which are fantastic. So now it's a question of how well it does on the road, which is exactly what we're going to find out tomorrow, where we also get a chance to ride the Street Triple R as well. So stay tuned. So after a fantastic track outing yesterday, today we are on the road on the Street Triple R. What differentiates it from the RS is a couple of things. Firstly, the engine is in a different state of tune. It's the same exact engine as on the RS, but this one makes 120 PS and 80 Newton meters of torque. Also on the suspension side, you get Showa separate function forks which are fully adjustable, and a Showa shock. Also, the tires on this are the Continental tires instead of the Pirelli Super Corsas on the RS. You get 4 riding modes instead of 5. The one more which is missing is of course the track mode, which is not available on the R. And the dash is the dash which we have seen on the Tiger 660. It's not the full TFT dash that you see on the RS. The Brembo 4.32 monoblock caliper instead of the Stylema caliper on the RS. But other than that, when it comes to the electronic suite, this one also gets all the goodies in terms of lean sensitive traction control, lean sensitive ABS, and also the combined braking. How was it to ride? I was actually quite impressed because I wasn't sure about the Continental tires because I have no prior experience on it, but they actually held up really well for the kind of pace which we were running for the road, which was surprisingly quite high. We saw us stop the engine out to almost 240 kilometers an hour, and they held pretty good. And also the road surface was not really the best. It was quite dusty at a lot of places. There were cracks on the road which were covered by this black asphalt, which was quite slippery. But still, in terms of the riding dynamics, in terms of the kind of feedback which you got from the front, the R continued to shine as much as the RS, inspired a lot of confidence. The only thing I feel was the shock on this is still on the stiffer side. To the best of my knowledge, they have set up the suspension on the comfortable setting, which is the softest setting available, and I felt the rear was still kind of on the stiffer side, and there was still room for improvement in terms of ride quality on how the R handled the really broken roads. But other than that, I find it really roomy. So the ergonomics are exactly the same as on the RS. The wide bars help give you a nice relaxed position when you're riding on the road. But of course, if you want to go fast, there's absolutely no wind protection whatsoever. And on the engine front, there is a little bit of buzz which creeps in around 6500 RPM. and it continues on the pegs as the revs climb. So that is something where I felt that the R could have been a little bit better. That's how the RS performed so far on the road, and I cannot wait to ride the RS on the way back and see how she does. What a way to end the day. So on the way back, I got a chance to hop on to the RS, and as impressive as it was on the track, it was equally impressive on the road. Because in the morning, remember I mentioned that in some of the really rough sections, the R felt a little underdamped. The shock on the R felt a little underdamped. On the way back, same piece of road, on the RS, it just absorbed everything. But that's why the RS is a little bit more expensive than the R, because even on the R you have some really good components, but then yeah, there's no matching the Öhlins when it comes to the perfect balance between sporty and comfort. Also, in terms of tractability, now with the closed ratio gearbox, it's fantastic. You can ride around anywhere, even over speed breakers in the third gear. Very little juddering. You have enough and more juice lower down to keep chugging you along. Yes, the vibes do creep in even on the RS around 6,000 RPM, which then therefore limits your cruising speed to about 140 odd kilometers, which is not bad. And with the more aggressive rake on the RS, the seat height has gone up to 836 mm. But Triumph is offering you a lower seat, which then lowers the seat height to about 20 by 28 mm, which is then not bad at all. It's very, very manageable. In terms of pricing, we don't know yet. We'll find out in the next few weeks, hopefully. Also in terms of when these motorcycles will be hitting the Indian market. But leaving Spain, very, very impressed with what Triumph have done. Whatever the flaws there were in the previous generation, they have well and truly gotten rid of them and come up with a weapon of a machine in both the R and the RS. So I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you have any more questions, please hit me up in the comment section below. Until then, ciao.